I'm just going to throw this out there right now. North Dakota State is in a perfect and prime position to upset Colorado. I like North Dakota State. I think they match up great against Colorado, and they can out-physical them. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all don't understand how happy and excited I am to be making this video. It is that time of the year, the prediction videos are starting up, and today, we got Colorado and North Dakota State. I believe it goes without being said, you know why we're previewing and predicting this game. It's because Colorado's must-see TV. You can hate them, you can love them, doesn't matter, you're still gonna watch. They are easily one of the most fascinating teams in the nation because of, well, they got Coach Prime, and everybody wants to see how he's gonna do. Last year was Deion's first year there, and everybody was anticipating that, including myself, and it started out really good. Upset TCU, beat Nebraska, beat Colorado State, started off 3-0, but ended terribly. Blew that 29-0 lead to Stanford, where that wide receiver just completely torched them, and they wound up finishing 4-8. They sucked, and the worst part about it was the interest for Colorado, it just steadily declined the more they lost. At the beginning of the season, everybody's watching. When they were 3-0, everybody's still watching, but once they lost that third, fourth, and fifth game, everybody's like, all right, this year's over, no need to pay attention. And everybody finally came to terms with reality. Colorado sucked. It's not even up for debate. They sucked last year. They were awful, and they had one of the worst defenses in the nation. Offensive line was atrocious. The only bright spot on that team was Shedeur Sanders at times when the offensive line did protect him, and Travis Hunter. Outside of that, there wasn't much to point to it. Now, outside of that, there wasn't much to point towards. Although last year was bad, I am going to remind some of y'all, they did improve. The year prior, they were 1-11. On the grand scheme of things, Colorado is still taking a step in the right direction, so let's just make that clear. Going from 1 win to 4 wins, not bad at all. And nobody in their right mind was going to judge or criticize Deion at all in year 1, just due to the big turnaround he had to deal with. For me, here's how I view it. Let me give you my perspective. Year 1 with a new head coach. Not going to criticize him at all. Year 2, that's when I am going to be slightly more critical. In year 3, it's time to put up or shut up. In year 4, yeah, you should be meeting the standards of that program. We're in year 2 at Deion. Now, I am a little more lenient with him and giving him a longer leash because his scenario is a little different. He inherited, you could argue and say, the worst program in college football. But I would say overall, most people are in the same boat as me. We kind of expect a little more out of him this year, and we're like, okay, you've now been there for, this will be year number 2. We want to see you do something. And to start out year number 2 with a bang, they're playing North Dakota State. Good old NDSU, a.k.a. North Dakota State, whatever you want to call them. They're a powerhouse in the FCS. If you don't know who they are, this will sum it up the best. They are the Alabama of the FCS. That's all you need to know. I have no idea what the line is for this game when we pull it up. Okay, Colorado is favored by 10 points. I got a bunch of fun facts about North Dakota State prepared for you guys in this video. Because I know most of you know a lot about Colorado, but you may not know a lot about NDSU. In their last 4 games against Big 12 teams, they're 3-1. Beat Kansas State in 2010, beat Kansas State in 2013, and Iowa State in 2014. It's not like they just got a lucky Hail Mary. No, they're 3-1 against the Big 12 in their last 4 games. So I want you to understand, if you are a casual or you don't keep up with NDSU a lot, this isn't a team you should take lightly. They also have a quarterback who goes by the name of Cam Miller, and he is a 4-year starter. I'm just going to throw this out there right now. North Dakota State is in a perfect and prime position to upset Colorado. They have a bunch of returning starters. They had 8 players named to the FCS All-American list, and they have a 4-year veteran back there. You want to upset some teams? In my book, these are 2 categories that matter. Veteran leadership, aka experience, and a veteran quarterback. Cam Miller has been there before. There's not an environment he's not used to, and he's been in so many different situations. I don't think he's going to get rattled. Another thing to pay attention to is not only is North Dakota State 3-1 in their last 4 matchups with Big 12 teams, they're 9-4 overall against FBS opponents. The one downside about North Dakota State is they do have a new head coach, and this will be his first game. He's coached at NDSU previously, but this is his first game back as the head coach. That does kind of worry me a little bit because he will most certainly be feeling all the nerves and pressure. All right, that's enough about NDSU. Let's talk about the traveling circus that goes by the name of Colorado. Good googly moogly. Last year, it was brutal and a crap show to say the least. It was bad, and I mean bad. However, I got great news for my Colorado fans. That was last year. It's in the past. It doesn't matter. What does matter is Deion Sanders, he cleaned the house. Colorado dang near has a completely new team, so on the bright side, you have a few guys from that 4-8 ball team returning. You got Shedeur coming back. I'm not going to sit up here and hype him up. We know he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Same thing for Travis Hunter. He's one of the best players over on the nation, and outside of that, not too many familiar faces. They did get the 5-star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton, and I can't wait to watch him play. Another player to pay attention to is wide receiver Will Shepherd, who transferred from Vanderbilt. He may emerge as one of the top players, so keep an eye out for him. I like his game. But with Colorado, I'm not going to beat around the bush, talk about this player, that player, so on, so on. What really matters is, and what this game's going to come down to, is the trenches. It's the million-dollar question. Can Colorado block somebody? Last year they couldn't. How many times did Shedeur Sanders get sacked? I believe, without even checking, it was 52. And the only reason he didn't get sacked more is because he either performed some Houdini act and got away from it, or he threw the ball out of bounds. Shedeur was a sitting duck last year, and it was so hard to watch because at a certain point in time, I thought he was just going to get hurt back there, and I was like, dang, just get him out of the game. It's no point of having him out there. Jordan Seaton should help some of that, but he's only one player. What's the other lineman going to do? And truth of the matter is, we could sit up here for the next couple of minutes and try to decipher whether or not we think the O-line's going to be good. Bottom line is, we don't know. That's going to be something you got to pay attention to, and arguably one of the biggest X factors in this ball game. If they can block, I think Colorado's going to have a good day. If they can't, it's going to be a rough day. And we saw it last year. When Shedeur Sanders had time to throw, Colorado, that offense, they were clicking on all cylinders. With Colorado, I don't worry about the quarterback position or skill positions like running back, wide receiver, etc., because they got the guys to compete. They have great talent at the quarterback, running back, and wide receiver position. It just boils down to, and I know it seems like I'm harping on this, but it matters that much, can they block? Because if the O-line can't block anybody, you can't run the ball, you can't pass the ball, and it's a crap show. On the flip side of the ball for their defense, okay, we'll start with this. Good news is, it can't get much worse. Last year was pitiful, and I mean pitiful, pitiful, pitiful. The good news is you have Shiloh Sanders returning for his, heck, I don't know, I done lost count. What is this, his 7th or 8th year? Dude's pushing 30, he needs to get a job just playing, but seriously, he's been there forever. Shiloh has a little bit of Dion in him. He tries to hit stick everybody, and he's really good at doing that. He's not as skilled or as talented as Travis Hunter, but I think he's much better than what people actually give him credit for. I firmly believe Shiloh Sanders is a legit NFL player. Shiloh's only problem is he tries to go completely Brian Dawkins on everybody and light them up. And when he does light them up, it looks good, but at times when he doesn't wrap up, they can get away from him. But Shiloh's similar to his father. He's a ball hawk. He's always around the football. He makes plays. I can't speak for you, but for myself, I love players who make plays. He's kind of got that, dare I say, and I'm not comparing these two guys, but that Mika Fitzpatrick tendency. He's always around the ball. Overall, I would still say Colorado is a weak defensive football team, and if they want to win this game, they're going to have to score points. I have a hard time believing Colorado's going to shut down that North Dakota State offense. I just do. I don't want to say it's going to be a high-scoring affair, but it's not going to be low-scoring. I think it's going to boil down to the trenches, and if Colorado doesn't respect their opponent in North Dakota State, you could see what happened to Florida State this most recent weekend happened to Colorado. Because what happened? Florida State just lollygagged in there, thought Georgia Tech was going to bow down to them, and Georgia Tech said, no, we're going to show you what a real football team looks like. The difference in Georgia Tech and Florida State is Tech was a football team and Florida State had a lot of good football players. That's something to pay attention to. Will Colorado play as individuals or are they going to play as a team? Last year was individuals, and I think even the players on that team would tell you that. With North Dakota State, I know what I'm going to get. They're a legit football team. It's going to be a team effort, and I believe this game comes down to the trenches. That's your X factor. Circle it, write it down, mark it down, do whatever you got to do. Whoever wins the trenches wins this ball game. The big number to pay attention to is rushing yards. Whoever rushes for more yards, they'll probably win. I like North Dakota State. I think they match up great against Colorado, and they can out-physical them. But when it's all said and done Thursday night, I think you're going to see a slight gap in the talent difference. I believe Colorado has more talent than North Dakota State, and although I think North Dakota State is the more physical football team, it's not enough to override the talent. I got Colorado winning this game, 31-28. It's going to be a close one. I like that score prediction, and I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section. What do you think is the X factor for this game, and who do you think is going to win? There's many more things I could say. Want it out there. Let me know your thoughts down below. But Robin.